There is a moment in Attack on Titan where the hero of the story looks you directly in the eye and tells you he has always been this way. That everything he did was inevitable. That freedom, the thing he claimed to want more than anything, was the reason he was going to kill every single person on the other side of the ocean. The terrifying part is not that he said it. The terrifying part is that by the time he said it, you understood exactly why. This is the complete story of Attack on Titan. And unlike most recaps, we are going to follow the one thread that connects every single thing that happens from the first episode to the last. What does it actually cost to be free? Attack on Titan is the most morally complicated anime ever made. And I do not say that lightly. Most anime present the world in terms of heroes and villains. Attack on Titan starts that way deliberately, then spends for seasons systematically dismantling every assumption you built in the first one. Characters you loved become people you fear. Villains you hated become people you grieve. And the story you thought was about humanity fighting monsters turns out to be about humanity being the monster all along. What makes Attack on Titan genuinely different from every other anime story recap you will find is this. The story is not a plot. It is an argument. An argument about cycles of violence, about inherited hatred, about whether the desire for freedom justifies what you are willing to do to achieve it. Follow that argument from beginning to end, and the entire series makes a devastating, coherent kind of sense that most people who only watched once did not fully catch. Let's go from the very beginning. Inside the walls, the world as Eren sees it, the story begins in a small town called Shiganshina, at the southern edge of Wall Maria, the outermost of three enormous circular walls surrounding the last remnant of human civilization. Or so everyone inside the walls believes. Eren Yeager is 10 years old when we meet him. He is angry in that specific way that children are angry when they sense something is wrong with the world, but cannot articulate what it is. He watches Survey Corps soldiers return from expeditions beyond the walls in broken, depleted numbers and feels, instinctively, that the life inside the walls is not actually life. It is a cage that calls itself safety. His best friend Mikasa Ackerman is the opposite. She learned early that the world outside is dangerous and that what matters is protecting the people you love within whatever space you have. She was taken from her family as a child by human traffickers and rescued by Eren, who killed her captors at 10 years old. The violence of that night both saved her and tethered her to Eren in a way that shapes her entire arc across the series. His other childhood friend Armin Arlert is the dreamer. He has books about the outside world, books the government technically considers dangerous, and he spent his childhood imagining the ocean, the deserts, the ice fields that exist beyond the walls. Armin's intelligence is his weapon and his curse. He sees further than almost anyone around him, and everything he sees costs him something. The day everything falls, then the colossal Titan appears. A 100-meter-tall Titan with no skin, steaming, impossibly large, peering over the wall with what can only be described as curiosity. It kicks a hole in the outer gate and disappears. The smaller Titans pour in immediately. Eren and Mikasa watch their mother, Marley Yeager, get eaten by a smiling Titan. Trapped under the rubble of their collapsing house, she tells them to survive. Hannes, a soldier who is too afraid to fight the Titan himself, carries them out. They watch Carla die from the back of his arms. This scene is the emotional anchor of the entire series. Everything Eren becomes, every choice he makes across 4 seasons, can be traced back to this specific moment. He did not just lose his mother. He learned that the world contains things that will take everything from you and smile while doing it. And he decided at 10 years old that he would rather die fighting than live inside a cage. Wall Maria falls. 2 years later, Wall Rose is briefly threatened. 100,000 people die. The surviving humanity retreats inward and begins to starve. Joining the Corps 5 years later, Eren, Mikasa, and Armin join the 104th Training Corps. The training arc introduces the ensemble cast that carries the rest of the series. Connie Springer, Sasha Blouse, Historia Rice, Jean Kirstein, and crucially, Reiner Braun and Bertholdt Hoover, the 2 people whose secret will change everything. Eren graduates 5th in his class. He is talented but not extraordinary. What separates him from his peers is not skill but the specific quality that defines him throughout the entire series. He does not stop. Not when it is reasonable to stop. Not when it is logical to stop. When Eren Yeager decides something matters, the only way to make him stop is to kill him. He joins the Survey Corps because he wants to kill every Titan on Earth. He wants to see the ocean. He wants to be free. He does not yet understand what any of those things will cost. The Truth Beneath the Walls, the female Titan, the Survey Corps' first major expedition beyond the walls, introduces Annie Leonhardt, a military police officer who has been close to Eren throughout training. She is revealed as the female Titan, a Titan shifter, a human who can transform into a Titan at will. Annie is the first major revelation that the enemy the story presented at the beginning is not a mindless force of nature. It is people. People with names and faces and histories that the story has not shown yet. She is captured. She encases herself in crystal before she can be interrogated. The mystery of why she was trying to capture Eren specifically begins here. The basement and the secret of the walls, Eren discovers something about himself in the Battle of Trost. He can transform into a Titan. He does it accidentally and then deliberately, using the Titan form to lift a giant boulder and seal the breach in the wall. His father, Grisha Yeager, gave him this ability through a Titan serum injection the night Shiganshina fell. Before that, he took Eren to a hidden basement beneath their family home and told him that everything inside was the key to understanding the truth. The basement becomes the most important locked door in the story. The entire middle section of the series is, at some level, about getting back to Shiganshina to open it. What they find when they eventually get there changes everything. Reiner and Bertholdt before the basement, the betrayal. Reiner Braun, the big brother of the 104th Corps, the dependable one, the one Eren admired as a model soldier, looks at Eren one afternoon and tells him quietly that he is the armored Titan. And Bertholdt is the colossal Titan. The same colossal Titan that destroyed the gate of Shiganshina 5 years ago and killed Eren's mother indirectly. They were sent, by a nation called Marley, on a mission to retrieve a specific power held inside the walls. The scene where Reiner makes this confession is one of the most stunning moments in the series because of how it is delivered. Not dramatically, not as a villain's speech. Reiner says it like a man who has been carrying something too heavy for too long and simply ran out of the strength to keep pretending. He is not a monster. He is a soldier who did terrible things because he was told they were necessary and who has been slowly breaking under the weight of them. This is the moment Attack on Titan becomes something different from what it started as. The world outside the walls, the basement truth, when the Survey Corps finally retakes Shiganshina in a brutal battle that costs Commander Erwin Smith his life, and Armin's humanity in the choice that saves him. They open the basement. Grisha Yeager's journals tell them everything. The people inside the walls are Eldians, descendants of a people who once ruled the world through the power of the Titans, controlled by the Fritz royal family who held the founding Titan. A century ago, the last Fritz king made a deal with himself and retreated inside 3 walls he constructed from colossal Titans, bringing a fraction of the Eldian population with him and wiping their memories of the outside world. Outside the walls, the world is run by Marley, a nation that weaponizes Eldian people as Titan soldiers and uses the lingering fear of the old Eldian Empire to justify treating all Eldians as subhuman regardless of their personal history. The people inside the walls were never the last of humanity. They were a forgotten remnant of a complex, bloody political history that the royal family decided to hide from them. Eren looks at the ocean for the first time. He reaches the thing he has wanted since he was 10 years old. He digs his fingers into sand and looks across the water at Marley on the other side. He asks if they kill all the enemies on the other side of this water, will they finally be free? That question is the hinge point of the entire series. The Marley Arc Season 4 shifts the perspective entirely. For several episodes, the story follows Marleyan soldiers, specifically the warrior unit of young Eldian children trained to become Marley's Titan weapons. Reiner is there. Zeke Yeager, Eren's half-brother who commands the Beast Titan, is there. And there is Gabi Braun, Reiner's cousin, a child who has been so thoroughly indoctrinated into Marley's ideology that she genuinely believes Eldians like herself, who serve Marley loyally, are different from the island devils inside the walls. This section is deliberately uncomfortable to watch because Gabi is written as Eren was written at the beginning. Righteous, angry, absolutely certain that her people are the heroes and the enemy is straightforwardly evil. She has simply been told a different story about who the enemy is. That parallel is the point. Eren's new plan, Eren infiltrated Marley independently. He made contact with a dissident Marleyan journalist named Yelena, who works with his brother Zeke, and began moving pieces into place for something nobody around him fully understood yet. Zeke's plan is the Euthanasia plan. He has the royal blood needed to use the founding Titan's full power. If Eren can touch Zeke and access that power together, they can use the founding Titan to sterilize all Eldians, ending the cycle of Titan conflict within 1 generation. Nobody else dies because no new Eldians are born. Zeke believes Eren supports this plan. Eren does not. The rumbling the founding Titan's true power Eren makes contact with Zeke in the paths, the interdimensional space where all Eldian consciousness connects through the founding Titan's power. In the paths, Eren meets Ymir Fritz, the original Titan, the girl who gained the power of the Titans thousands of years ago and has been bound in service to the royal families will ever since. Ymir stayed because she loved King Fritz, a slave who loved her master, a girl who died for someone who never truly freed her and has spent 2,000 years in chains in a dimension outside time, building Titans for every royal descendant who called on her. Eren tells her she can be free. Nobody has ever said that to her before. Ymir chooses Eren. With the founding Titan's full power, Eren does not activate the Euthanasia plan. He activates the rumbling. He releases the approximately 100 million colossal Titans embedded in the walls and sends them marching toward the continent. Not to threaten, to flatten, to kill every person outside Parody Island who is not Eldian. His logic is the most devastating thing the series ever produces. He has seen the memories of the future through the Attack Titan's power. He knows how this ends. He chose this path specifically because it ends with his friends having to kill him, and his death being the catalyst for Eldian people being seen as heroes who stopped the rumbling rather than monsters who started it. He is engineering his own death to give his people a chance at being accepted by the world. He is also killing 80% of humanity to do it. The Alliance, the surviving Marleyan warriors, including Reiner and Annie who has been freed from her crystal, join with the surviving Survey Corps members including Mikasa, Armin, Jean, Connie, and Levi to form an alliance. Their goal is to stop Eren and the rumbling before it reaches the continent's population centers. This section produces one of the most remarkable character moments in the series. Jean and Connie, ordinary young men who joined the Corps because history put them there, who never asked for any of this, have to decide whether to fight their friend to save people their friend was trying to protect them from. There's no clean version of this choice. Every option costs something irreplaceable. Hange Zoe, the Survey Corps commander, dies buying the Alliance time against the Titans. Alone, calmly, having done everything she could, Mikasa's choice the final battle at Fort Salta, and then on Eren's Titan, is one of the most viscerally overwhelming sequences the series produces. Armin uses his colossal Titan form to destroy Eren's physical body, allowing Mikasa to reach him. Inside the paths, Eren tells Mikasa the truth. He did all of this for her. He chose the path that gave her 70 more years of life rather than the path that kept him alive beside her. He knew she would be the one to kill him. He designed it that way. And she does. Mikasa kills Eren Yeager with her own hands, the boy who saved her childhood, the person she has organized her entire existence around protecting. She kills him and carries his head to a tree he loved outside Shiganshina and buries him there. The rumbling stops. 80% of the world's population is still dead. The Titans are gone. Every Eldian is freed from their Titan curse simultaneously. The war that follows between the world's surviving nations and Parody continues. Armin negotiates as an ambassador for peace while the world rebuilds. What Attack on Titan is actually about, the argument the series was making all along here, is what most recaps miss entirely. Attack on Titan is not a story about whether Eren was right or wrong. It is deliberately constructed so that you cannot fully answer that question without losing something important. Was Eren right that the only way to give Eldians a future was to make them the people who stopped the rumbling rather than the people who started it? Maybe. The post-rumbling world shows Eldians being accepted as heroes in a way that might never have happened otherwise. But 80% of humanity is dead. The math does not balance. Was the Survey Corps right to stop him? Yes, almost certainly. But stopping him came at the cost of everyone who died in the rumbling before the Alliance reached him. And the peace they built after is already showing cracks. The series ends with armies marching on Parody again, birds landing on Mikasa's shoulders at Eren's grave, Armin speaking to a peace summit that history will likely not allow to matter. The cycle is not broken. This is the point. This is what Isayama was building toward the entire time. Attack on Titan is a story about cycles of violence that are too large, too old, and too deeply embedded in human nature to be broken by individual acts of heroism, no matter how extraordinary those individuals are. Eren could not break the cycle. The Survey Corps could not break the cycle. The Peace Summit probably will not break the cycle. The The cycle continues because every new generation inherits the hatred and the fear of the one before it, and the specific people with the specific combination of wisdom and power and timing needed to actually interrupt that inheritance almost never exist at the same moment history requires them. What the ending is saying, Mikasa finds a bird at Eren's grave that she believes, in some small irrational human way, might be Eren. It wraps a scarf around her in the wind, the same gesture Eren made for her the day they met. She says thank you. She says goodbye. This moment is not saying Eren was secretly good all along, is not forgiving what he did, is saying that grief does not wait for moral clarity. You can hold someone responsible for terrible things and still grieve them. You can love someone and still recognize that they chose to become something that had to be stopped. Mikasa carries both things. She always will. That is the most honest thing the series ever says about human beings and the people who hurt them while claiming to love them. Why Attack on Titan Matters Attack on Titan is the only anime I can think of that deliberately makes you complicit in the story's moral failures. By the time the rumbling begins, many viewers wanted it, felt Eren was justified, cheered for the Titans marching across the continent, and then had to sit with what it meant that they had cheered for that. Isayama constructed the series to produce that specific reaction deliberately. He wanted you to understand Eren completely, not to agree with him, to understand him. Because understanding how a person becomes capable of choosing the rumbling is far more useful and far more uncomfortable than simply condemning them from outside. Every real-world cycle of violence contains people who believe completely in the justice of their cause. People who can show you the wounds that justify everything they did. People who are not simply wrong, but who are responding in most extreme possible way to things that genuinely happen to them. Attack on Titan does not excuse those people, but it insists that you understand them. And that insistence is what makes it one of the most important pieces of storytelling produced in this century. So that is the complete story of Attack on Titan. A boy who watched his mother die decided that freedom was worth any cost. He spent his entire life discovering what that belief would eventually ask of him. And when the bill finally came due, he paid it. And the people who loved him stopped him. And the world did not become the better place any of them were hoping for. And Mikasa sits at a grave on a hill, and a bird wraps a scarf around her, and she says goodbye. That is it. That is the whole thing. The cycle continues, and we are left to decide what to do with that. Which character in Attack on Titan do you think understood the world most clearly? Not who was right, who actually saw it most accurately. Drop your answer in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives every day. I will see you in the next one.